What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and today I have a very exciting video for you all. Today we're going to be taking a look at the revamped and revised Jetset Models airport accessories. I hope all of you are excited for this today, as I'm really excited about some of the new products in here. He really beefed it up. The price went up just a little bit. It's now $45, but you get even more than what you got previously, and I truly do believe that's worth the value. So discount code in the description, CM Aviation for 10% off, link in the description. Definitely recommend checking it out. But anyway, we got some really cool pieces to work with here, so I'm just going to go ahead and be gentle with this and go ahead and pop it, and we're going to show you all what we have. And I love the packing as well. So it is a very extensive lineup. It looks really cool, so we'll just go ahead and take a look piece by piece, and I'll kind of just outline it for you all here. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll actually put out an aircraft here so you can kind of see what we got. So here's a Delta 737. And what I'll do is I'll just start lining it out. So the first new product is the narrow body pushback tug. I think this is a great enhancement off of the previous one that's been had there. So there's a couple different versions of it. You have this extended one right here, and then I also believe, if I can find it, you have the previous one, which is perfectly good, of course. But I really am obsessed and really excited about this one. This is more like the narrow body one. So I really like all of them, of course, but this is going to be really cool, and I think it's going to look quite nice. So kind of even a little inspiration from tiny tugs, if you will. So I think that's looking pretty cool. So there's the narrow body tug, liking that, or however you want to designate them. But you do get 3 of them now, which is awesome. So very happy about that. I think that was a great choice. Next up, you also get the new revised catering trucks. I think these are a big upgrade with the actual piece right here, where the various, what's the way I want to phrase this, where the people in the galleys and so forth actually go. So I'm a big fan of those, and they do line up beautifully with the narrow bodies. And then obviously I also have a wide body here for y'all, and I'll just kind of put some in the background. But as you can see, they also get on with some wide bodies. Some of them are made for some of the narrow body aircraft, but as you can tell back there, it's kind of there. But that one, particularly in the wide body, is not quite there. But it just depends on, or I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. I think it goes on like 757s and 767s. So
Jetset Models has some incredible model aircraft accessories. From cones, the buildings, the vehicles, Jetset Models has you covered. These accessories are absolute game changers and take your model airports to the next level. Use discount code CMAviation for 10% off your order. Be sure to check out Jetset Models and bring that realism to your model airport today.
yeah, this is for A321s and so forth. That's for 737s, Embraers. This is for A321s and 757s. So sorry, my bad, I got that wrong. This catering truck is what's supposed to go back there. So as you can tell, that looks a little bit better right there. So you have the 3 different catering trucks. They look really nice. You have the mid extended, the lower, and then the upper. So I love the variety. I think it's a really good compromise of all of it. Another new item is the really cool fuel hydrant. I think this is really cool and definitely adds some awesome realism, so we'll add that back there in the corner. And then you also have the lower level cargo loader, which is great on the other side. So that's a cool in between and really good for airliners. So once again, just huge shout out to the Jetset. He's so cool. And definitely check out the link in the description, CM Aviation, for 10% off. We also have the air stairs here. These have been found in the cargo sets, but now have made it over to the normal passenger version of this, which is great. So very happy to see the air stairs added. We have narrow body and wide body ones, so I'll put that on the other narrow body when I set it up here in a moment. We also have the fuel truck, which I really like it. I think it honestly looks really good. I actually think there's technically 2 of them. Let's see. Yeah, so you have this, or the kind of the hydrant piece, so you get a couple of those, and then you get the actual fuel truck itself. So big fan of that, and I think it looks really nice. You also get multiple belt loaders now. You get 4, which is awesome. So this is perfect for setting up aircraft and so forth. So big fan of all that. So we're gonna go ahead and put one over here, and I'll set up the other narrow body off camera, just make it easy. And I'm a huge fan of the revamped baggage carts because you can actually turn them, which is really cool. Well, I thought so. I thought you were able to turn them, maybe not. But anyway, regardless of the case, they are attached, which is really cool. So yeah, this looks really nice. I don't want to break it, so I'm just being gentle, but I thought you were able to turn them. Maybe I was wrong on that. But anyway, you get 4 of them now, which is really nice. So I'm really glad they're attached. It just makes it so much easier just to plop it down. So personally, I'm a big fan of it. I know there's probably some, was it this one maybe? Oh, I thought there was one of them. I thought he was demonstrating them being turned. So I apologize. I'll put the video on the screen, but I obviously don't want to. Okay, that feels like it can bend. Okay, you see there? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so that can, okay, yeah, so these 2 can twist. This, I don't believe is intent. Okay, yeah, they do twist. Sorry, you actually have to go for it, kind of, if you will. But as you can see, they do twist. I just recommend being careful because, You obviously want to get them in one position so they don't break, because I can already see that wearing out, which is fine. There's only so much you can do with the 3D printing. So what I'd recommend doing is just getting them in one position and then calling it good. So for example, I'm just going to angle that one off just a little bit, and that's plenty satisfactory for me. I'm happy with that. You know, I obviously don't want to break them. So just get them in the position that you like universally, and then that really takes care of it. But I'm so glad they're attached. This makes it so much easier. So huge fan of this, and you can twist and turn. So that's really awesome. So big fan of that. You also have the 2 lab trucks right here, which is great. These are awesome additions as well. It seems like all of what's in here is almost new, which is really cool. Really nice revamp. But as you can tell, these are really nice and they look really cool. So we'll put one back here, and yeah, you can really deck out your aircraft now. And the GPUs remain, of course. The GPUs are looking good. You get 2 of those in the set, and then the fuel hydrant, as I mentioned. So it truly is just a phenomenal deal. I mean, you really can't beat it. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the other aircraft over here, the Iceland Area 321 Neo, and kind of show you all, kind of walk you all through what that process looks like. So for example, we'll get the narrow body air steer up to it, and then we'll get the correct catering truck up to it as well with the correct size, height. Then we got the baggage loader as well, followed by the actual baggage itself, and then we can get a little bit bigger of a tug on that one. So let's go ahead, and this is a wide body tug actually, I think, so that's why the size was so wonky there for a moment. But getting this all set up, and I think the big takeaway on the Jetset GSE is it's very simplistic and very easy to set up, which I love. It just makes it so easy to just plop it down and, you know, place it where it needs to be. So just overall a huge fan. I think it looks really nice. So yeah, just kind of putting this other GSE off on the side. But yeah, here's kind of the look, and let me give you all some, you know, overall perspectives on this a little bit so you all can see it a little bit better. Let me get my phone here in a more adequate position. And that's just one set right there. So you can do all that, and I didn't even put it all on the screen. So you really can fill up a full model airport with every piece of, or every aircraft having a piece of ground service equipment for multiple pieces, to be honest. For just $45, I think this is some of the best value GSE that you can get. I truly think that Jetset has made this a very affordable. You get all this in just one package. So I truly think that Jetset has made this a very obtainable, you know, very obtainable goal if you want to have all kinds of GSE at your model airport. I mean, this is just truly sensational. So yeah, here's what it looks like. I think it's really nice. I love the new catering truck, love the pushback tug. I love the piece there on the baggage, and it's also, the size is also increased substantially, which makes it easier to see. So I think that's cool. Fuel truck looks really good. Fuel hydrant's got the lab truck, so all that looks really nice. And yeah, that upper level catering truck, just so good. It's so nice, and actually, you know, has some additional detail on it, so I love that. And as I turn it around, you're going to see some additional detail here on the back as well. So very nice. I love the baggage carts. Once again, I think they look really nice. So it really adds a whole new level of realism with all this additional GSE. If I had to pick a favorite of my new pieces, honestly, I would probably, this is a good one. There's so many good pieces here. Honestly, I think it's all a huge upgrade just in general. But if I had to pick, I think probably the biggest jump is, I honestly think the catering trucks, I just think that they're, you know, so much more ramped up, and they also have so much more detail. But the fuel truck, the new format for the baggage carts, and the pushback tugs are also huge standouts as well. So big fan of all this. I also really like this cargo loading tug. So you get so much GSE for this price. I think it's really fair, and it really adds some crazy realism to your model airport. So feel free to let me know what you all think in the comments. I'm very eager to hear, but this is looking really good. Great job, Jake from Jetset. You continue to do a great job, and thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Head over to the description, use code CMAviation for 10% off. You're not going to regret it, and he continues to amp it up one step at a time. With that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love you do. My name is CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. CM Aviation is signing off.